Richard, 4 stages left to go. Are you allowing yourself to think of victory yet?
Still quite a bit of work to do, but obviously I've got my fingers crossed and I'm just going to drive as comfortably as I can.
K-left plus. To K-left minus big hole, keep out. 60. So K-right plus.
But in true world champion style, Burns cocks the wheel through the last corner of the last kilometre of the last rally of the season to win the 2001 World Rally Championship.
Richard Burns, 2001 World Rally Champion. How does that sound?
Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic.
Richard Burns Rally released on 9th of July 2004, a few months prior to Colin McRae 05. Released on the Xbox, PlayStation 2, PC and the Gizmondo, a device that would eventually see the fall of developer Warthog Games. But that's a story for another video. Published by Cygames, Richard Burns Rally was the ultimate sim racing game, directly competing with the Colin McRae series but actually seeking a sim racer audience rather than a cross between realistic and arcade. Richard Burns Rally is anything but arcadey. Given a pathetically low 74 Metacritic at the time, the critics did not appreciate and still don't understand the genius of this game. Richard Burns Rally is still to this day arguably the best rally sim still being used by not only YouTubers but pro rally drivers to test and learn stages. For this reason, I've given it a very high 90 rating, as how can you argue what the pros say is the best? Welcome to Richard Burns Rally. This game is 20 years old, going on to 21 years old, and it's a game that is still used today for sim racing practice from all the big heads, even rally drivers themselves. Off we go. Now, Richard Burns Rally is an incredibly sensitive and lifelike simulation game for rallying. This game, as I said in the intro, is completely used today. It is extremely tough, as you can see here. We're not going to be playing with a wheel either, which is kind of what the game wants you to play with. So we're going to be very slow in this game because we are playing with a game controller. We are also playing on the Xbox original, as this is a years later video. I didn't think it was right to play an updated mod version from the PC. So in 2004, Warthog Games released Richard Burns Rally, and at the point they had made another rally game, which was Rally Championship Extreme back in 2001. A little bit more arcadey, and I think that's what everyone thought Richard Burns Rally was going to be. Warthog Games actually worked with Richard Burns and a few other rally drivers to prepare this game, hence the simulation modes in it are incredibly tough. In today's world we have the WRC games and of course Dirt. Dirt Rally probably for me being the best up there in terms of simulation games. Whee! But what you have to get in when you play Richard Burns Rally is this is not an arcade game. This isn't even as easy as Colin McRae games, as I kill a Marshall. Sorry Marshall. And by God, if you're starting this for the first time, do not put your damage on. Unfortunately, Warthog Games, who designed this game, got bought out by a subsidiary company. They created a horrible tech device, I can't remember what it was called, Gizmodo or something like that, and they went bust, which of course bust Warthog. But you can see this is a great comparison, as a comment here suggests, from a previous YouTube video on that Colin McRae video. I was already working on this video when this comment happened, but I'm so happy that the Colin McRae video actually connected with a lot of people, because I was very concerned it wouldn't. Obviously, I'm not going to be the best at this game. As you can clearly see, I missed a turning. Talking over your co-driver in this game is a mistake, but I'm going to have to do it. So the Colin McRae games definitely sold better than Richard Burns Rally. The initial purchase of Richard Burns Rally was basically all it sold in 2004/2005, but the PC community, as they normally do, revive games with a breath of fresh air, and the modifications to this game are incredible. So we're into the Rally Finland now, as we did on the McRae video. If you haven't checked out that video, I would hope you can. I'm sure the love of rallying has brought you here. Try and drift it in. That's it. Lovely. Toyota's probably going to be the best bet for us here. A lot of front load on this car. As you see, the Marshall's getting out of the way. A great little addition into the game. The Marshall's shouting, "Oh shit!" So who was Richard Burns? Richard Burns won one World Rally Championship. Very comparable with Colin McRae. Richard Burns won his in 2001 and is still to date the only Englishman to win the Drivers' World title in World Rally. We're not as good as the French or the Scandinavian, sadly. Richard Burns, even though he won the World Rally Championship, is not a well-known name like Colin McRae. He wasn't like lavish, he wasn't crazy. You know, Colin McRae was not outspoken, but very loud in how he drove. When in doubt, flat out mentality of McRae won a lot of fans, not to mention the games and the popularity of those. Richard Burns was a lot more, quiet, reserved, but nevertheless, he did win. And he's got an incredible game that still is used today. Like Colin McRae as well, he sadly died way too early. Only 4 years after winning the World Rally Championship in 2005 did he develop a brain tumour and sadly die. If you do want to see people play Richard Burns Rally, there are plenty of channels, and I mean with a lot of subscribers, million plus, that play this game. As I'm spinning out, it's okay, it's okay. Go back to the cockpit view quickly. There's a little difference as we're spinning again. I need to try a couple different tracks on this game. The first was in Great Britain, this one obviously in Finland. When in doubt, if it's Finland, check the snow. Same as Sweden. Car is unbelievably tough to drive in this game. Even though I'm bad at the simulation game here, especially without my wheel, it's still worth promoting this game 20 to 21 years later. Easy right going into easy left. I don't think any of these easies are easy, sir. Pretty sure he said don't cut the corner as well, and what do? Straight away, cut that corner. Move, marshals, move! I do like that feature. Every marshal is always in the track. There's the finish. I can't control the finish! Sorry, marshals. It's only me. Stage record, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I did it in just under 5 minutes. Yeah, not great. So on this game, you do have Rally School, where you can actually learn to do the sim racing, which is probably what I should have done beforehand, but we're not going to for this. Quick Rally, which is what I've been doing. Rally Season, which is, as you can guess, a career mode. Multiplayer, which was great at the time. You got a challenge mode from Richard Burns himself, and you can change your driving profile, etc. I'm going to try the Japanese circuit now and do the stage Tanner with, of course, bad conditions. And we're going to hop in the Subaru because we've just done a Mitsubishi and a Toyota. That's more like it. We've had good weather, now we'll have some bad weather, please. Better expect me to be in the trees every 2 seconds. But not just a gaming fan, I'm also a massive motorsport fan. I would love to introduce more motorsport games onto the channel. Seeing as the Colin McRae video did very well for this channel, we got a lot of great comments, and a lot of them talking about Richard Burns Rally. Please let me know in the comments below what racing games you'd like to see, as I'd love to do more. For example, the original Forza Motorsport, all the way to 2005's Formula 1 games. This track's really nice, like in the jungle. Sorry about your cones there, marshals. I know you really liked putting those out. Even the newer dirt games or WRC games, if anyone wants to see those, despite it not being 20 years later, it could only be 5 years later. That doesn't matter. This channel is all about showing off games that are forgotten or are great or not played anymore. The current selection of videos are there to hit you in the nostalgia button, which I feel the Colin McRae video did extremely well. And I hope this Richard Burns video also does. Hairpin left, 100. Can I hit it? The handbrake doesn't work. That might be the worst hairpin I've ever done. As always, please let me know any games you would like to see done on this channel, regardless of genre, in the comments below. One of the main takeaways from this game over the Colin McRae games is obviously the Colin McRae games are not arcade games. They are slightly more difficult than an arcade game. They are a simulation game, but, and a big but here, this is a simulation game. McRae probably had the marketplace in terms of the name, the poster boy for Subaru, despite Burns also driving a Subaru. Oh no, we're off the mountain. Fast right into finish. Fast right into finish. Finish it. Finish it strong. Very nice. That wasn't as bad as the last one. We weren't crazy minutes off of the pace, but we were, over a minute. So Richard Burns also raced 104 rallies in total, which for a rally driver is pretty good. Not the most we've ever seen, obviously, but it's a good amount and it's a great career, especially as he did win a title. He won a total of 10 rallies in total. And if you're not familiar with how rallies work, they are divided up into stages. So you get a stage win, and the person with the most points at the end of all stages wins the entire rally. He has a total of 277 stage wins, so the individual races within the large weekend, essentially, which is very impressive. He had 34 podiums, as in at the end of the full rally, whether he came first, second, or third. And of course the one world title in 2001, which was also his last win. Throughout his whole career, he only had 2 co-drivers, which, amazingly, co-drivers really need to be appreciated more, I think, in the world of rally. They are to rally fans, but I think they go out the window in terms of people that aren't that aware of the sport, wondering how important they are. This is a nice track as well here. This is the US. It's a nice wide road for a newbie like me. We try and dip it into the corner. Get it a little bit. Fast left into a slow right. Another fast left. Pin it a little bit. Quite a narrow right. Trying to get our nose into the apex of these corners is not working too well. But we've got a little jump here. We slow down for the right, and we didn't slow down enough. Move, marshals. Medium right 70. Again, I will reiterate how rallying works. Not always do you have these arrows on screens. You can turn them off, obviously, for simulation purposes. Some co-drivers talk about medium, small, large as for the turnings. Most co-drivers dictate it in terms of numbers. 1 being a very tight corner, 6 being barely any movement in the road. If you said a 6 right, it means just move the wheel a tiny bit to the right, but you can pretty much pin it to the floor. If you said a 2 left, it would mean it's a pretty tight left. Slow down. It's how they can shout instructions, as we really pin it here. It's how a co-driver can shout incredible instructions. Ah! Shouting incredible instructions at the driver before they decide to make the turn will show how they're going to drive. Now, as the Colin McRae video, this video cannot possibly be long because it's not a game that differs that much. So I only can talk about what I'm currently doing at the moment, and I am no sim racing driver. I cannot explain the mechanics of what I'm doing, especially on an Xbox controller. But what I can do is showcase this nostalgic game, say it is still extremely difficult, it is still a brilliant game. I mean, graphics are really holding up on this as well, same as the Colin McRae series. And I keep comparing it to Colin McRae because that is the biggest comparison it can have as the Marshal runs across the road again. They're similar years, they were similar age blokes, they're both from Great Britain, and they both have banger rally games. As we finish it there, that was our best rally to date. And on that note, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment and let us know what games you want to see. Any genre, any game. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what games you want to see on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.